This program is brought to you through the kind support of the Friends of That's What She Said and Taylor Backus Glass. Support BCTV by visiting bctv.org/support.
It used to be great, now it's not so great. But it's still pretty great. Reading. It used to have lights, then it didn't have lights. New, with LED lights. Pagoda. Did they really say that? They did not say that. Yeah, they did say that. That's what she said.
Welcome back to another episode of That's What She Said. Did you miss us? We missed you. Now, just as a refresher, and, well, possibly to those who are tuning in for the first time, well, we'll talk about this later, but let's introduce ourselves. I am, of course, your hostess, Jane Street. My co-host next to me is...
Sheila Harrington.
And then...
Ellen Gallagher.
Martha Richardson.
And Kira Apple.
Wonderful. And we are now finally... Sheila, dear, who crochets and knits for us, has been working on a project for...
About a year.
About a year.
I started
and here is that project. We just wanted to show that it was finished. Woo! And it is huge, and that's why it's taken so long for her to finish it. But now it's really hot in here, so take that off.
Done. On to the next project.
Now, I hope everyone is well because, of course, we're dealing with this flu and colds, and everyone seems to be ill this season. So, actually, I was taking a friend of mine to shopping the other day because she can't get out by herself, and she was saying she had a toenail fungus, and I was thinking, ooh, that's disgusting. But what do you do about it? Well, she wanted from the store some vinegar, white vinegar, and some Listerine, and she mixes that up into a witch's brew and sticks her toes in, and she says it actually solves the problem. Now, how did she get it? She said she was walking in pond muck, hunting for water hyacinths. So, if you don't want toe fungus, don't walk in pond muck. There. Now, so, be alert. Be mindful. Now, does anybody else have any sort of home remedies they'd like to share in this season of sickness?
I have another one for the foot fungus. Vicks.
Yes.
Vicks takes
Really?
care of everything.
Oh, my goodness.
Actually prescribed by a doctor. Just put Vicks on it. But
For the toenail fungus?
for the toenail fungus.
Oh,
Yes.
my goodness.
And if you have a
Smell
cold,
like
put Vicks on the bottom of your feet.
Yes.
Oh, that one I've
For a
done.
cough.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
Jamie should try that. By the way, throughout the show you may hear hacking, coughing. It's our producer, Jamie, sitting over there. Just ignore it. We do. All right, continue
I have
on.
one. I have a friend who's a gastroenterologist in New York City, and very, very good practice. He is Sicilian by heritage. And
He's what?
His parents are from Sicily.
No.
And when he gets a migraine, he cuts up a raw potato, puts the slices on his forehead, and ties a kerchief around.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes. And
Like across the forehead?
across around the forehead. Cold raw potatoes. And
yellow
ties it.
or fingerlings or
Just home fries, actually.
Just plain old, I don't know,
fries.
Italian tomato.
Any old potato will do.
I have one, too. As a child, I was very prone to ear infections all the time. On antibiotics all the time, the ear tubes, the works. The doctor said, you have water in your ears. Try the hair dryer. Good old hair dryer on the lowest
my
setting.
goodness.
And it works.
for how long?
Really?
Just until, a few seconds. I mean, not long. You're not going to...
Oh, my
Did you
goodness.
have to hop on one side? When you come out of a pool?
I confess, I did. Several times. But the hair dryer helps, too, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay.
Kira.
Well, I have chronic hiccups.
You too?
So,
Oh, me too.
now I get them, and it's from, coughing like a normal person, so I get them a lot. Or I have to cough funny to not get them. So throughout my life, I've had many, many, many different things I've had to try. But the most recent one that seems to be the most frequently effective, because it seems like you use them once and they don't work again, because it's up here. Actually, my boyfriend Dallas came up with where you put a tissue over top of a cup of water, and then you drink out of it without breaking the tissue.
Really?
So you have to do it slow, and it just kind of makes you concentrate, and, it's more like a mental remedy, but it seems to work more often than not, because you have to go slow and think about it.
I can swear by that, because Dallas...
Yes, that's right.
I had them horribly one day, and Dallas said,
You have them much worse than I do. I shouldn't even speak of trying to kick them.
It's so annoying, because you can't do anything.
No,
it's just
so involuntary.
Indeed. But that method does work. What also works, and this another friend... you take a glass and you strike an entire book of matches and throw it into the glass and drink it right up.
I've tried that one. I never tried that.
It's very disgusting, and I don't know if the disgusting nature of it
just shocks your system.
It's just not hiccuping.
Yeah.
God, what the heck am I drinking? There's also I was just reading the other day, I forget where it was, but they recommended if you have a cold or any bronchial things to cut open a big onion and set it by your bed and just sleep with the onion by your bed. And,
ew.
I know.
If you can.
Well, indeed.
Ew.
But that,
certainly
I should have Jamie try that one.
The onion will be your only bedmate.
some Vicks on his feet, and we have a home caller. Give the number. Oh, I'm sorry. Of course, we can't have a home caller because you don't know the number. Well, maybe you do, but. But we would love to hear from you. It's 610-378-0426. You see, I'm so comfortable now, I just assume you all know these things. But we can also are accepting tweets. Sheila is our official Twitterer, or whoever wants to. But that is @SheTweetsToMe. So @SheTweetsToMe or 610-378-0426. We'd love to hear from you by one of these methods. Now, speaking of ears and home remedies, we were.
Ears.
I am nothing if not the mistress of gentle segue. We went on an adventure the other day. Now, there are several schools of thought of what happened. We went to get our ears candled. I alluded to that if you'll follow us on Facebook or a tweet about being penetrated by a pointy, long object. But it was quite interesting. Now, if you go by the allopathic sort of medicine mentality, they say it's at best not very good for you, mostly the danger of setting yourself on fire. But we had very gentle practitioners who put some flame retardant towels on us, and were very careful. Homeopathic sings the praises. So from one end of the spectrum to the other, use your own judgment. I certainly found some relief
Me too.
In having this done.
I did too.
So let's take a look at our trip to the Hair Works, where Bonnie and John Sokolsky stuck candles in our ears. Roll that tape. At any rate, we're here with, magically she turns, Bonnie Sokolsky, the owner of Hair Works. The Hair Works or just Hair Works? The Hair Works. The Hair Works. Now, can you tell us a little bit about this ear candling we're about to approach?
Yes, I can. It is a beeswax candle. It's canvas, and it has the beeswax on the outside, and it's a cone shape. And we light the one end and stick the smaller end in your ear.
You're sticking it in. I thought we just were going to concentrate on it, and the candle wax would, or the earwax would pour out of our ears.
Oh, no, it doesn't.
Oh.
We stick the candle in your ear, and then the heat from the flame goes down the candle, and it will draw the wax out of the ear into the candle.
And how much wax does one usually get? I'm a very clean woman, so I imagine that it's a very little bit.
You could get more than anybody else. You just don't know.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see. Thank you, Bonnie, and we'll be back right in a moment with flaming candles sticking out of our ears.
Now, you know, if you use Q-tips in your ear, you're supposed to use the opposite hand to go in.
Right.
Oh.
Because you don't want to get exactly. Yeah.
Well, there's a Q-tip tip for you.
Yes.
So is it like you could unwrap and whistle and it's inside?
So let's see the...
Okay.
Yes, let's all look at Jane's earwax.
That's the money shot right there.
Absolutely.
Can I say that on television?
Oh, my goodness.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my gosh.
Oh, they expect me to look like that.
That's
crazy.
Goodness.
Yes,
That's incredible.
sucked out of my ear. Happening.
And so there are herbs in that, according to this. There are herbs in that muslin, or
Well, with the beeswax on it, we do have herbal candles. You can buy different ones with the beeswax. Also, we have the ear candle oil that I will put in, rub a little in the canal of the ear after I'm finished.
Oh yeah, it almost sounds like it's sizzling.
Can you hear it already?
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. It's a moment of truth.
I'm scared. I don't want everyone to see my.
Oh wow.
Oh, she wasn't too bad.
wow, no.
Oh, it's not bad.
Yeah. That's highly double.
I feel like so I'm good.
And so, do I have to tilt my head?
No, you can just sit up straight. Sometimes it.
I did accidentally. I don't recommend.
What is that?
It's a muslin
No pressure.
tube.
We don't want any pressure on it.
I'm going to have John, Bonnie's husband, do my other ear. We'll see. Then I will compare them. So I'll come over to this chair and he can flame-proof me up.
Is that it?
Is that it?
Ready?
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Wow. I cut. She was up there.
Nice. You might be the winner so far.
Wow.
See, here you go. They tag team one ear, and then they will double team one
I
head.
realized when I was lying on this side, I couldn't hear.
We're experimenting with you first.
My
There you
head
go.
was so
If
bad.
you don't go up in flames,
So waiting.
then we're on the
Now, this is the ear that you had done a month ago, right?
Yes. Well,
Oh, my goodness.
Is it like you can hear like dull thuds and bass?
No.
oh,
Wow.
my.
Holy cow, that's a
Goodness.
month's worth.
Yes. Oh,
You must have had a little blockage in there.
yeah.
That's gonna be funny.
More wax in your
That
tickles.
You okay with that?
Yeah.
Doesn't hurt?
No.
You're fine, Sheila.
I just didn't know he was coming. I'm like, oh, there he is.
It'd be funny to have that in surround sound.
Oh, wow.
You look like the patient got it.
Yeah. As comfortable as one can get.
She wants two done at the same time, or
Sure.
is this
No.
Okay.
Do you have a good? Does it feel like you have a good seal on both?
I can hear it. Sounds funny.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Wax time.
Dozy.
Where's the wax measurement tray?
Here it comes.
Ew. I win.
Ooh, I think she'll win.
I win.
That's one side.
That's the sleeping side.
Huh. Oh, wow.
Ew.
No offense, Sheila. Ew.
I know. I didn't know my ears were so disgusting.
We did.
Oh, wow.
That one wasn't too bad.
Maybe took it lower. So there should be more.
Yep, here we go.
Oh, gather round.
Gather round. I'll show you a story of wax. Wax plate.
The tin of wax.
Let's see. Now,
What's the hole in the middle of the pan for?
That's if we want to use that against the head,
Oh.
then we'll stick the candle through there.
Yes.
And then there's some up in there.
Not too bad.
And there's some down in here.
Wow, Sheila. Sorry.
yeah.
And here we are with our freshly de-waxed ears. How does everyone feel?
I can hear it.
I can breathe.
Thank you, Bonnie and Tom.
Yes, thank you.
The hair works lovely. It's in Lancaster. No, it's in Shillington on Lancaster Avenue. You can have a candle coming out of your ear, flaming. Ear. I said ear. Thank you all for coming and joining us on this merry, slightly disturbing journey. We'll see you soon. Bye. Well, I sure hope you weren't eating during that.
Should have given them a warning.
Indeed. But it was an interesting experience. We are auctioning off the wax. We've created little dolls of ourselves. No, it's actually not true.
Voodoo.
But again, that's Bonnie Sokolsky at the Hairworks. That's 309 West Lancaster Avenue if you'd like to try in Shillington, if you'd like to try yourself. Now,
I think I have to kind of interject something here.
Certainly.
From the point of view of, I think we will have some skeptics out there who might think I'm not so sure I would want to do this. And I can kind of understand their feeling. After all, earwax has a purpose. It's there because our body generates it to lubricate our ears and to catch germs and that sort of thing. And so it's not all just bad stuff.
Oh, indeed.
No, I'm much more of that mindset with most things. I'm much more of the skeptic, and I agree. And when you look at something like that, you don't want to mess with it too much. But at the same time, medical doctors perform earwax removal. My dad's had it done. My sister's had it done. They've had it done in an incredibly painful way. I've watched. I've been in the room with them. And if this works, and I don't know if it does, but if it does, I'd much rather have it done that way than the way that I've watched it be done
and in a group of
professionally.
Who are having a good time together.
Right. It was at the very worst, we had an enjoyable experience.
We did. The other thing that I've kind of gathered from some research, not that I've done, but I've read some of the results, is that a lot of what you see there that came out of that is candle residue itself.
There is some controversy about that, and
just
many.
Well, that's why we give the warning. Judge for yourself.
Right. Yeah. Perhaps talk to your doctor before you would consider.
Well, if nothing's coming out, it's not a medical procedure. So.
Well, indeed. And again, it's the difference between an allopathic bent or a homeopathic bent, and sometimes the allopathic tends to like to keep diseases in us to create that market for healing diseases.
Oh yeah, call in now. It's getting hot.
Again, the phone line is. The line is 610-378-0462, and we do have a home caller.
Yes.
Oops, sorry.
Please call.
Yes. Speak. You're with us. Hello. Have we lost you?
No, I'm still here.
Okay, we'd love to hear from you. Who are you? What do you want?
I was just curious if you were trying to compete with the Comedy Channel or with Sci-Fi.
We'll compete with anybody we can.
We're an all-opportunity operation over here.
There you go. No, we just... Go ahead. All right, fine. Again, that is, and I misspoke on the number. It is 610-378-0426, not 6226. Now, I have a special present for all the ladies. As we know...
A wax figure?
Indeed. No. As we know, I am a fan of the sippy cup, not just for kids anymore. So, over the holidays...
You went to Bonton.
I did. I made everyone their own. That's what she said. Sippy cup. So.
Oh, look at that.
Thank you.
So fancy.
Mine got.
Very cool.
I got it. I made a mistake and only got 4 of those in one of these, so mine's like.
Kiss each one of these?
I did. I puckered up my lips and.
I'm gonna put that.
There's a little DNA on every cup.
Well, I'll bring the beverage for them next time.
I think yes. It's good.
Really, yours is dancing.
It
Yeah.
Is. Oh.
I saw it. I danced.
My goodness.
We know what she's put in that cup.
Now shake her.
Now, speaking of things stuck in holes, well, like earwax, there was an article in the news the other day about some whales, and they were up in Quebec, I believe, stuck under the ice because they only had it was a pod of whales. I think we should do an episode on things that are, what the names of things are, like a clouder of cats and a pod of whales.
And a murder of
a gaggle.
Oh, that's my favorite, murder.
A gaggle.
Yes.
I like that word.
But anyway, there were these whales stuck under the ice, and we all were rooting for the whales, as one does. And suddenly the ice broke, and they were all safe. But there have been a lot recently of animal stories in the news.
May I just go back to that for a second?
Yes.
Because I think we can both identify this. It was the grandmother whale that led the whole pod out to safety, they believe.
Oh, my goodness,
so
I didn't.
The ice did break, but they needed someone to lead them out to the open sea.
So obviously,
and the grandmother was the one
whales
who was
are one of the cultures, like the Japanese, who honor their elders.
There you go.
We need to move.
She knew what was up.
We all need to be honoring our elders and following the grandmother whales.
That's why we're here in the news, right?
Being honored.
Any other animal?
I think my favorite's the IKEA monkey.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
Aww.
That he was a huge internet meme, but basically a lady had him illegally and dressed him up in a fancy designer jacket, and he got loose in an IKEA. And people took pictures of him, and he was just walking around, just, shopping for a bunk bed or something. I don't know, but he was having a good old time. He was probably my favorite animal story. Not inspirational, but definitely amusing.
I don't know. There's something inspirational about a monkey in a coat.
One was the sad
Aren't we all?
Because the snake died. But
Oh,
the
yes.
10-foot boa on the wing of the airplane in Australia.
Yeah, that is terrible. That is
I can't imagine looking out. I'm not the most confident flyer, and looking out of the plane where I'm always seeing those bolts looking like they're loose coming out of the wing, and seeing a 10-foot python. I guess
I would
it was.
die.
I
would die.
I'm just amazed it stayed on the
It
plane
did stay
that
on,
long.
and they watched. It was an hour. No, it was just an hour flight.
Well,
Yeah, right. It was.
And he almost made it.
Almost made it,
He
but
did.
sadly,
Where was it headed to?
Papua
New Guinea.
Oh, yes.
instead of Mammal.
Papua New Guinea.
Yes.
The story that I thought was kind of cute because I saw pictures to go with it. The dog, it's a Labradoodle, kind of a tawny, russet color, and his or her owner had it shaved so that it had a mane.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
and
yes.
I did hear
yes.
This pup was running around in town, and people thought they were seeing a baby lion, and except he pranced.
Yeah, they took like a Bigfoot picture of him, and they're like, lion, loose, and it's all over the internet. And, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's
He really does look like a little fluffy lion.
Oh, my goodness.
Too cute.
Well, you don't like animals, so.
I do like
I'm sorry.
animals.
She,
I fear them, but
there's
I
that number
like
again.
them.
Sheila doesn't like animals.
Call in.
I don't like Christmas. I don't like animals. What else don't I like?
But my dogs loved you.
I loved
My
them.
dogs
I
loved
did.
Sheila.
Once I got in the door
Even-
and passed
even-
them, I was good.
And they loved you.
They were sweet.
And we are kind of planning for our next show in March that we might do something about rescue animals. So
We will bring our
Indeed.
rescue animals.
So there's a tease
Oh, I
for
can't
that.
wait.
Sheila will
I
be
can't
maybe
wait.
surrounded by rescue animals or
Hooray.
other kinds of animals, not including me.
I'm bringing my doggy biscuits that day.
Excellent.
they'll love you.
Yeah, right?
So yes, there's your when is our next?
March.
Look up
March.
that.
20th, isn't it?
March 20th?
The third
Anyway.
Wednesday in March.
Third Wednesday?
Jamie
Yes.
will let us know.
Jamie will let us know because that's his job. Now we've been asked what the opening bid on the wax figurines are. I think because it contains our multiple DNA, I think no less than let's say $300.
How much is a clone going for these days?
I don't know.
What's the going rate for wax?
Wifey is watching.
Oh! I know that. Hi, wifey. That's for me.
Also, I wanted to pause here for a moment and just wish my dear friend, Greg Moore, a happy birthday. I told him I would, and there we go. If anybody else would like to wish anyone a happy birthday, go ahead. But I had to do that. Now, Takers? No. All right. We have a celebrity in our midst. I mean, we are all celebrities. Everyone is a celebrity, let's face it, in this day and age. But there was a special on Christmas Eve on CBS, which dealt with the community of Reading, and it was an uplifting piece. And our own Ellen Gallagher was part of that evening.
Had an opportunity to be a reader, yes. And it was a very nice experience because it reflected very positively upon the city of Reading and the people. And it also had a lot of economic value to the city because they gave out a lot of grants to organizations in the city that are doing things to help people. And I think it was a total of like $50,000 that was distributed among organizations like the Olivet Club and the Salvation Army and the Habitat for Humanity. And so it was something that showed a very positive side of our city. And so
it did. It
yes,
was a very lovely piece. Oh, no, I'm stuck. But that kind of brings up a study, because speaking of the economy and community, there was a piece the other day, I forget where it was, James, maybe... Oh, it was in the Eagle. Yes, about the grocery situation, grocery store situation in Reading, and
it's a three-part series,
I
think.
Yes, how it's difficult within the city to get sometimes go shopping for a nutritious selection of food.
There are no supermarkets in Center City. There are some stores in Center City that actually go to the supermarkets in the suburbs and buy vast quantities of things, resell them in their stores with jacked prices. And I'm not saying that all city stores do that all bodegas do that. I know that's not the case. But there are some that do that, and because people in the city may not have cars, or even the bus transportation wouldn't take them to a suburban supermarket, they're stuck with whatever they can get within walking distance. Mm-hmm. Additionally, one of the articles brought out the fact that it's so much more expensive to eat healthy food, to eat fresh produce, to eat seafood, to eat fresh fish. It's much cheaper to buy hot dogs and bags of chips.
It truly is. And I mean, you go into just any health food store, and it seems that the less ingredients something has, the more expensive it is, and that just it has always seemed to me to be antithetical of the concept of health and that community of health, to have that be so unavailable to the wider audience.
The thing that I also liked in the one article was that it pointed out the mothers in Center City who want very much to feed healthy food or a healthy diet to their children, and how they struggle to do it because they don't have the financial resources, because they don't have the Giant or the Weiss's or whatever in Center City. And some of them talked about ways that they have managed to do this, but it's very difficult. Yes, very difficult.
Indeed. And I urge everyone to read that article. If you go back, it's probably online.
In the archives, certainly.
Yes, because it is fascinating. But now, another aspect of community is people helping other people. And we have an organization in Reading, especially dealing with education and the arts, which we will get to in a little while. But there's an organization called the Olivet Boys and Girls Club of Reading and Berks County, and they do a wonderful job of after-school programs, just educational support for the arts and just leadership. And well, let's play the DVD and we'll show you. Ellen went on a little expedition to the Olivet Boys and Girls Club.
Ladies and gentlemen, right now we are at the Olivet Boys and Girls Club on Walnut Street in Reading, and we're here for a very interesting program. And the first thing I would like to do is introduce you to Richard Bradbury, who's the director of the Olivet Boys and Girls Club. And he'll explain a little bit about this program, and then we're going to go inside and see what it's all about.
Sure.
Richard?
Thank you, Ellen. This program is one of 3 levels of guitar that we offer here at the Olivet Boys and Girls Club Center for the Arts. The group that you'll be seeing is actually our performers level of guitar. It's between 10 and a dozen students that have been with the program for quite some time. They've developed a certain amount of proficiency. They've also developed a certain amount of repertoire, songs that either they've written or songs that are published, and they're rehearsing them right now to be ready for performance.
Their instruments. Do they all bring their own instruments?
Some of them bring their own instruments that they've actually been rewarded as part of an incentive program with this particular program through Reading Musical Foundation. If they have perfect attendance or near perfect attendance at the end of the school year, or in our case in May, they'll be awarded an acoustic guitar, a new acoustic guitar. If they already have an acoustic guitar, they'll get an electric guitar. If they already have one of those, then they get an electric bass. So each year, it's a great incentive.
We're very impressed with what's going on here tonight, and this goes on a regular basis.
Every Wednesday night throughout the school year, yes.
Okay.
So we have 3 groups here. We have a beginner, intermediate, and advanced groups. These guys are getting ready for performances throughout the city and county.
Okay. February is a big month.
February, we do a Gallagher Works thing in March for Jazz Fest, and then we're also going to do Reading Phillies, like one of the first opening days. We do Reading Phillies pregame.
And what do they do in the Reading Phillies?
They play before the game, and then they get to go eat and watch the game.
How long have you been involved in it?
Long time.
Long time. Okay.
Yeah, I've been with Josh in this program since I was about 6.
Wow, that is a long time. Okay.
I'm 15 now.
And what steps did you go through to get to this point?
Well, at first I was doing like songs like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star.
Yeah, we all have to start with this.
Yeah. But it's more like focused and me wanting to do this and sticking with it.
Okay. And do you spend a lot of time practicing?
Yes, a lot of time.
That's great to hear. And how much time do you spend here at the center?
Every Wednesday. At the center, like in general, I'm here most of the week besides Fridays and Tuesdays. So I'm here a lot of the time.
Second home.
Yeah, exactly. This place is my second home, and all the pieces is like my family, and members are like my family too. Like,
wonderful.
I love this place.
This is the Olivet Boys and Girls Club of Reading and Berks County, and they provide some very important music programs and other non-traditional school-type programs for children so that they have exposure to the arts. We want to thank Richard Bradbury, who's the director here, and Josh Taylor, who is the music teacher of guitars and percussion. He kind of oversees the music part of it. They were very kind to have us come in as their guests, and I think you've all enjoyed the children and appreciate their talents and their enthusiasm for music.
And we're just going to take a little break here, but when we come back, Julian Cephus, who you just saw in that video, is here in the studio, and she'll play a song for us. Remember to call us at 610-378-0426 or tweet us at @SheTweetsToMe. We'll be right back.
You're watching bctv.org. Be informed. Be involved. Be a member. For membership information, go to www.bctv.org/support/membership. For other stories and information, go to bctv.org.
Hi, I'm Christy Cole, and I'm a teacher here at the Wilson School District. But I also love to swim and be active. BCTV keeps me informed about everything that's happening in our community. Arts, the environment, local events, sports, and much more. I encourage you to become a member of BCTV to help ensure that it stays part of our community.
We're back. Thank you for enjoying that little break. Please support BCTV because the community really needs it. And now, as promised, we have Julian Cephus who will perform a song for us. What are you performing?
An original song called You Can Change the World.
Oh, wonderful. She wrote this and now she will play it for you. Please enjoy. Thank you, Julian.
Seen you grow from a princess to a queen. You were talented at everything, and I'm proud to call you my friend. You can change the world like you change your clothes. You can break the world like you break your hopes. You can change the world like you change your clothes. You can change the world like you change your clothes. You can paint the world so people can see the colors, and I'm proud to call you my friend. The friend you have love you so because you're bright and beautiful. Sorry if I ever doubted you. But I need to tell you, you can change the world like you change your clothes. You can paint the world so people can see the colors, and I'm proud to call you my friend. You can change the world like you change your clothes. You can paint the world so people can see the colors, and I'll be there with you when you turn the world upside down. I'll be there when you turn the world upside down.
Thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Well, as you noticed, well, you haven't yet. Well, here we are back. We have another special guest tonight. We have with us Keri Schultz, who is the president of the Reading Musical Foundation. And we're going to fill in a little more about this concept of arts education and its import to the growing children, as children do. All right, now that I've worked my way into that pretzel, please get me out.
So I think the best way to start is just to say that Berks County has a wonderful tradition of not only having performances in art available to everybody in the community, but we've also embraced our role as teachers, and we have a great network of educators across Berks County. There's lots of community organizations like the Reading Musical Foundation that work every day to make a difference for these kids and make opportunities available for music and art in our community. And for one of the first times, it seems like a lot of that access and a lot of the opportunities are beginning to become threatened. And, it's time for organizations like RMF and what you all are doing tonight to call attention to the fact that it really is important. It's worth keeping in our community, and we need to make sure that, in addition that Julian continues to sing, that all of her younger siblings have the same opportunities that she does. So.
It's very true. And just to pause for a moment, we do have a home viewer. Hello. Welcome to the studio.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. The reason I'm calling is because I have been hearing about your show for months, because you have a friend on the BCTV board that loves this show, and she promotes it every chance she gets. And finally I got a chance to tune in tonight, and I'm enjoying it so much. It's a perfect combination of crazy and serious, which is just about every conversation I've ever had with my girlfriends.
Well, I appreciate the yes. We endeavor to be both crazy and serious, because, well, life is, and you can't have one without the other, and it's well, anyway.
Anyway, I think it's awesome the way you touch on so many different subjects of things that are going on in the city and highlighting so many positive things, and I don't know, it's just fun to watch, and I just wanted to call and say thank you.
Well,
keep up the good work.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for calling.
Sure, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So, but back to this. What is going on in the world of support for the arts in schools and education at this point?
Sure. Well, what we're seeing is an increase of threats on special programs, which are our LAMP programs. So it's your library, physical education, music, and arts. They're the programs that are really being targeted by school districts as possible budget cut areas. And the main reason for this is because those subjects are not tested. They're not included in the Pennsylvania state standard assessments. So therefore it seems as almost that these classes are dispensable. And as I'm sure everybody sitting, here tonight, we know that is not the case. And, we need to make sure that our school board members know that, our administrators know that. Berks County has been lucky. What we thought was going to be a really bad year last year wasn't. The majority of cities like Harrisburg, like York, had severe cuts to their LAMP programs. And the Reading School District has not. They do have issues. They do have issues. They're certainly not immune to any of this, but we were very, very lucky last year, and those programs were spared, and the kids in the Reading School District are incredible musicians, incredible artists, and, I think all of them are thanking their lucky stars that they get to continue their passion this year, and we're hoping that next year, everything will stay on track and they'll be able to keep those programs growing.
So they are very happy about that.
The strange thing about this is the No Child Left Behind Act, which everybody has blamed for the arts suffering, actually is not to blame for that, because No Child Left Behind, that act spells out the arts as being core subjects of equal importance to English, social studies, math, and science.
Sure.
And there is any amount of valid research that has been done that proves that the arts, the children exposed to the arts, do better in aptitude tests. Mm-hmm. Dance is used successfully to improve reading readiness among little children. Drama helps creativity. Writing. There are any number of research programs that have proven why arts and what we consider the academics go hand in hand.
Does this come from a sort of our puritanical background in that things that are perceived as fun can't be useful?
There used to be the specials. Way back they were called the specials, and then there were those that actually were bold enough to say these were the frill subjects, but they're not. And the arts includes dance and drama and writing. And it's just been very much of a shame that we have treated it. But the real crux is, you're right, they're not being tested. And that's where schools are scared.
But it's next to impossible.
Yeah,
too.
and how do you convince the mainstream that something that you can't measure quantitatively
well, I think that
is beneficial?
Because I think
even with the things that you've mentioned, still has seemed not to really sink into a lot of people how important these can be to certain kids. Maybe not even all kids. I would hope all kids, but certain kids are only going to respond
I think
to.
students speak for themselves. I mean, as someone who works with students in the Reading School District in the arts programs, I mean, I can tell you right now. I mean, if that were to be cut, they'd be devastated. They love what they do.
It keeps some kids
and
in
keeps
school.
them out of trouble, keeps them busy.
And Reading in particular, if you look at the last 10 years, if you look at the top 10 students who graduated from Reading High School, 90% of them participated in music and art.
And that's
And it's not a coincidence. It's year after year. The top of the class are music and art students. And I don't care what comes first, whether music and art make you smarter and that's why they're at the top of the class, or smarter kids just gravitate to the, whatever it is, I don't want to mess with it because it's working. It's working. And it's working in Reading.
It really is. Yeah. Do you have advice for folks who are concerned about the lessening and the loss of some of these programs? I mean, there's certain programs, outlying programs. I mean, I still think that our high schools do tend to hold on to them tightly more than some, but I know some of the outlying programs, like I attended the Pennsylvania Governor's School for the Arts in 2001, and that is gone.
Yeah.
Doesn't exist anymore. It was a free program for the students. They could go, no charge at all, and 5 weeks of just doing whatever it was, that art that you loved. And they have them for all kinds of different walks of life, science, and I believe they're all gone now, not just the arts, but certainly the arts was the one that I did. And and then what kind of advice would you give to folks who want to convince? What can you say and how can you,
The first thing is definitely do something and tell somebody above you. You school administrators and school board members, I firmly believe that none of them have gone into education. None of them have ran on a platform that they wanted to eliminate music and art and library and physical education. And if you would talk to them, they would tell you that, and they would say that it is important for well-rounded children. But something happens. Something happens in that boardroom when they're dividing up their budget. And to go on what Martha said about the core subjects, and yes, the arts is considered a core subject in the No Child Left Behind. But in the state of Pennsylvania, music is only a required subject in elementary school, general music. And when you're talking about like your high school ensembles, like band and orchestra and chorus, where Reading Musical Foundation believes the real learning takes place in those ensembles. It doesn't take place when you're memorizing the difference between a quarter note and a whole note.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But it's important.
It is important. It is. And you can't get to that point without knowing it.
Right, exactly.
But
Some in math.
it's at the discretion of the school board, and it's up against the guidance department budget and the technology budget and the facilities budget. So
I think athletics plays a huge part in that too.
And
if there's any spare money to go anywhere,
and it can.
It's not going to the arts.
But we need to do our job when we talk to administrators and school board members to convince them that when they're dividing up that pie, that they need to leave a slice for music and arts and the other programs that mean so much for these kids.
I know this is going to sort of get us squished up here, but I think we have someone in the room who actually can speak to the importance of arts to a young person. Julian, could you would you mind just if she grabs that mic, would that be fine?
Yes.
Let's see, where can we put you?
No.
Just grab that mic and come on over. We don't have a lot of time left, but I think it's really important to pull you into the conversation here because clearly you are the demographic that we're talking about, young people. So how do the arts affect you and your life?
The arts is pretty much everything to me. Like, seriously, that's what I'm. The arts is like everything to me. That's what I hope to go to college for music and for just for acting. And it helps me think. It helps me focus. It's just who I am.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But not all students are going to have your interest in going on to study in the arts. However, can you see value to your fellow students who might decide they want to be engineers, or they might want to work in the family business, or they might want to go into the military service? What would you say would be the importance of arts to them?
I'm not sure. I know that a lot of people use music as a way to express themselves.
Right.
So even if you're going into another job thing, it would still be a way to express your feelings and what's on your mind.
Share your ideas.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all arts. It's the world is all patterns and rhythms and movement, and to separate that from science, from math, from anything else, it's absolutely almost ridiculous, because it is all about that.
And we have to teach the appreciation of the arts. I may not have any musical talent, but I can appreciate the performer.
Yeah.
You know, I can't do what she does.
That is so key.
But I need to be able to appreciate. Children have to be able to see ballet and hear opera. They may decide that there's something they don't care for, but they need the exposure to as much of the art world as they possibly can.
I agree, and I think even if for people who go, children who decide to not pursue a career in the arts, I would say it's still important. I mean, I was raised, playing instruments, dancing, theater, all sorts of stuff, and I work at a bank. But it's still key. I mean, I do this stuff part-time still. I teach. Sure. I do all, So it's important.
The quality of life.
Absolutely.
So the one best thing we can do to convince is to
talk about it.
Talk to our schools, talk to our elected officials.
And share your stories, and tell them how these programs have made you a better person, a better employee, a better employer, a better community volunteer, however it's touched you. I mean, music affects so many people in different ways. And I don't know how much time we have, but just a quick thing regarding Julian and her guitar program. Her guitar teacher is a physical education teacher in the Reading School District, Josh Taylor. And he mentioned at one of our meetings about how, in particular, what he's seeing at the middle school level with his program is that the musicians are making a switch between now all of a sudden they have an identity. They've gone, through middle school. They're not quite sure who they are, but now they're the musician, and their friends consider them to be the musician, and they don't have to wonder anymore what they are, and they don't have to be a bad kid, and they don't have to, now it's defined, and they have that, and they fall back on it, and I'm sure it's a comfort to them to know that this is who they are, and they don't have to worry anymore. And I think something like that, you can't put a number on that.
Indeed. Definitely. We do have a home caller. Welcome to That's What She Said.
Hello, this is Meg Richardson, Martha's daughter, calling from California. This call with a couple things. First of all, Jane, those cups, I really think you need to sell those.
Someone else said that,
few girlfriends and I are going to get together and have a That's What She Said cocktail party during the show.
Excellent.
Okay.
I think you could put those on with your favorite recipe in your blog or something like that for a cocktail.
That's right.
The second thing I wanted to say is, Martha, your earrings look stunning. And the third thing I wanted to say really around the show has really been fantastic, is when I did my master's degree as a Master of Arts. My undergrad is a Bachelor of Science. And when I was finishing up my master's, the Dean of Students out here at John F. Kennedy University said, the arts, or the math, the science, really teach children and young adults and adults how to be professionals. The arts are what are critical to keep professionals to continue to learn how to be human.
Indeed.
Beautiful.
I think that's something that, while it may not be measurable, we are all humans, so it's important. So anyway, great show, ladies, and thank you for having me on the air.
Thank you very much. Now we have about 2 minutes left. Are there any last thoughts you'd like to impart to us and the audience?
No, I mean, if anything, I just want to thank Julian, and I've heard her sing a couple times before, but never an original piece, and it was just wonderful. Thank you so much.
It was.
Thank you so much.
Indeed.
The words were wonderful.
He's off camera, but thank you to Richard Bradbury and for all the wonderful work you do at Olivet. And we do have some thank yous. Before I run out of time, I want to make sure we don't miss it. Of course, Julian and Keri, Bonnie and John Sokolsky, at the Hairworks, our wonderful crew here who I've been neglecting to thank. We have John, Charlie, and Bill on all the machines here, whatever they do, I don't know. And of course, Jerry, Ann, and Joan here at the studio, who keep all this big machinery running. But anybody have any quick recommendations for upcoming events or anything while we have a few minutes?
We have an event happening next week at the bookstore, the Wise Owl bookstore that I own. It's January 22nd from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. That's Tuesday next week. We're featuring our monthly local author open mic night, which is from 6 to 7, and folks can reserve a spot to read an original work of theirs, poetry or prose. And then from 7 to 8, we have a featured author, Raymond Rose, who's local, and he'll be talking about his book and reading excerpts. So we try to do that once a month, so if you can't make this month, try for February.
I'd like to build on that. The local libraries, always free, and they have wonderful, we're the literature people.
Oh, yes.
Support your libraries. Support your local libraries. Wonderful things are going on.
And if I could add some things that are being done for free by organizations that are sponsored by the Reading Musical Foundation. This Friday night, the Aeolus Quartet will be at the Women's Club on 5th Street in Reading, and it's a free performance. And in February...
That's a missing graduate who's coming back.
Oh, okay. All right.
Rachel Shapiro, yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
And then in February, on the 17th, I believe, at Berks Catholic High School, the Reading Choral Society and the Berks County Parochial Schools will be doing a program of sacred works, and that's a free performance as well. And these are organizations sponsored by the Reading Musical Foundation.
And that concert was actually moved to Sacred Heart.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so just for viewers out there, yeah.
So there are absolutely wonderful things you can do in this city for absolutely no money or very little money to support these organizations that help support our youth and our community. And I think it's very important that we get out there and support these things because, as we keep saying, without the arts, we are less than.
We're less than human.
And we just need to be more than. So, we are with you again on March 20th.
March 20th.
March 20th. There's Jamie. He didn't cough once during the show. We're very happy.
Stop work.
Hey, Jamie.
Thanks on his feet, I'm sure.
I thought I smelled something. But anyway, that is the show for this month. There he goes. See, this, you get him talking and it just... but anyway, thank you for joining us. For us all here at That's What She Said, it's been a pleasure, and we're going to have some animals on the next show, so make sure you tune in. March 20th. Please support BCTV and these wonderful people who make bringing shows like That's What She Said to you possible. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.
Good night.
Good night.